So I was just watching ESPN's NFL Live coming straight from Indianapolis during Combine Week, and they had this incredible segment on the New York Giants that honestly covered every angle of what this franchise needs to do this offseason. The show dove deep into potential trades, free agency targets, and draft strategy. But what really caught my attention was when the conversation shifted to addressing the linebacker position, and Tremaine Edmunds came up as someone who could completely transform the middle of this defense. Hey, what's up everyone? Before we dive into everything I have for you today, I need to share something real with you that would mean the absolute world to me. That subscribe button right there. Hitting it right now would bring me one step closer to my dream of reaching 1,000 subscribers. I know you're eager to get into all this content, but real quick, just smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. It's such a simple thing. It takes literally 1 second, but it's honestly the biggest way you can support this journey and help me reach that milestone. Trust me, every single subscription gets me closer to that goal. And honestly, it would mean everything to me. So, do me that quick favor right now and be part of this dream becoming reality. Let me walk you through everything that happened on the program, because the analysts were really thorough in breaking down the Giants' situation. The panel started by discussing the significance of Combine Week beyond just the underwear Olympics, where prospects run and jump. They emphasized that this is the week when general managers get together, speak with agents, and really kick off the NFL offseason in earnest. Joe Schoen and John Harbaugh are both scheduled to speak, and there are countless questions that need to be answered about where this franchise is headed. The biggest theme that emerged was that the Giants have pushed all their chips into the middle of the table by hiring John Harbaugh. He's 63 years old, he didn't come to New York to lose games, and the organization doesn't really have time to sit on their hands and wait for things to develop organically. With Jackson Dart entering his second year and looking like a legitimate franchise quarterback, the time to maximize that rookie-scale contract is now. The window to go all in is open, and the Giants need to capitalize on it aggressively. The analysts made this interesting comparison to what the Chicago Bears did with Caleb Williams. Chicago made 2 huge trades to upgrade their offensive line, drafted a tackle in the second round, selected a first-round receiver in Rome Odunze, added a first-round tight end in Cole Kmet, and grabbed a second-round wide receiver in Luther Burden. They surrounded their young quarterback with weapons and protection, giving him every opportunity to succeed. That's exactly the blueprint the Giants should be following with Jackson Dart, according to the panel. The wide receiver trade discussion was extensive. Jalen Waddle was mentioned as the top target, and there's actual history here. Back at the NFL trade deadline, the Giants and Dolphins were heavily connected in trade rumors. New York reportedly sent multiple offers to Miami, but a deal never got done. The analysts suggested that maybe those conversations planted seeds for future negotiations. With Miami undergoing what looks like either a soft or hard rebuild after cutting Tyreek Hill, moving on from Bradley Chubb, and potentially trading Tua Tagovailoa, Waddle could become available. The reasoning for pursuing Waddle makes a lot of sense. You'd be getting Jackson Dart, a weapon he can work with for 3 to 4 years or longer. Additionally, Malik Neighbors is coming back from major knee surgery, including both ACL and meniscus procedures. There's hope he'll be ready for Week 1, but there's no guarantee. If Neighbors isn't ready, the Giants need someone capable of stepping into that number 1 receiver role immediately. Waddle would do exactly that. DJ Moore from Chicago was another name discussed as a potential trade target. His contract is a concern, but there's apparently not much guaranteed money left after 2026, which means a reworked deal could make the numbers work. The analysts seem to think the Bears might be willing to move him, given their depth at receiver with Burden and Odunze emerging. The cornerback need was addressed at length as well. The panel went through potential cut candidates across the league who might become available through trades. Denzel Ward from Cleveland was mentioned as someone to monitor. Marlon Humphrey was discussed extensively because of his obvious connection to John Harbaugh, having played under him for his entire NFL career in Baltimore. Humphrey had a down season, but if Harbaugh believes there's still gas in the tank, the relationship could facilitate a deal. But here's where the Tremaine Edmunds conversation really took off. The analysts talked about what the Giants have historically needed at the second level of their defense. They need leadership, they need disciplined linebackers who can organize the unit, and they need a strong presence against both the run and the short passing game. Edmunds fits every single one of those requirements in a way that would immediately upgrade what New York has. The technical breakdown of Edmunds' game was compelling. One analyst went through his specific skills and how they address Giants' needs. He excels at pre-snap reads, understanding what the offense is trying to do before the ball is even snapped. His coverage ability in intermediate zones makes him effective against tight ends and running backs in the passing game, which is crucial in a division where teams feature those types of weapons prominently. And his size combined with his wingspan allows him to cover ground and make plays that smaller linebackers simply can't. The organizational aspect was emphasized as a major selling point. A middle linebacker of Edmunds' caliber aligns the defense properly, reduces gap assignment errors, and improves collective communication. When you have someone in the middle of the field who knows exactly where everyone should be and can get them there, the entire defense functions at a higher level. That's what Edmunds brings, and it's something the Giants have been lacking. The long-term stability factor was discussed as well. Edmunds offers experience from his time in Buffalo and Chicago, consistency in his performance level, and durability that allows you to count on him being available. For a Giants team that needs to build a foundation rather than patch holes year after year, adding someone with Edmunds' track record would be significant. The panel then shifted to discussing the Giants' own free agents, and this is where the off-season decisions get complicated. Tremaine was identified as someone the organization absolutely should bring back. He was a top 5 pass-blocking right tackle in the entire NFL last year, and the quickest way to derail a young quarterback's development is by neglecting the offensive line. The analysts drew a comparison to C.J. Stroud in Houston, who had a great rookie year but took a step back partially because the offensive line deteriorated. Nobody wants that narrative surrounding Jackson Dart. Wan'Dale Robinson's situation was analyzed with a bit more nuance. In a perfect world, the Giants would like to have him back because he's a good slot receiver. But projections have him commanding $19 to $21 million per year. And the panel seemed hesitant about paying a 5'8" slot receiver that kind of money. He's good, but great players command that contract, and there were questions about whether Robinson has reached that level. Cordell Flott's situation was similar. He's still only 24 years old, a third-round pick who came into his own last year playing outside corner. But if other teams see a young corner on the rise and throw $15 to $17 million at him, can the Giants match that while also addressing their other needs? There are only so many slices of salary cap pie to go around. The math the panel did was interesting. If you're paying Robinson $20 million and Flott $15 million, that's $35 million combined for those two players. Does that make the most sense for roster construction? Or could that money be better allocated elsewhere? Adding someone like Edmunds to solidify the middle of the defense might be a more impactful use of resources. The trade-down discussion regarding the draft was fascinating. The analysts had tweeted back in November that the top half of the first round in this draft wasn't very strong, and apparently that view has become more widespread as we've gotten closer to the event. The lack of blue-chip players at the top raises a legitimate question about what the actual difference is between picking 5th overall and picking 13th. A specific scenario was discussed where the Giants could potentially trade down with the Los Angeles Rams, moving from 5 to 13 while also picking up the 29th selection. That would transform a team that currently has pick 5, pick 37, and then doesn't pick again for 70 selections into a team with 3 picks in the top 38. For a roster with serious holes at premium positions, that additional draft capital could be the difference between addressing needs adequately and leaving glaring weaknesses unresolved. The potential for trading down from 37 was also mentioned. Unless someone with a first-round grade falls to that spot, the Giants might be open to moving back a few selections to pick up additional picks. Moving from 37 to 42 while adding a late third-rounder is the kind of deal that could be hard to turn down. The players the Giants might be willing to move were discussed as well. The panel seemed confident that Dexter Lawrence isn't going anywhere, expressing belief that he can return to the form that made him one of the most dominant interior defensive linemen in football. Kayvon Thibodeau, however, was mentioned as potentially being on the trade block given his struggles and the crowded edge rusher room. Darius Slayton was identified as a possible salary dump candidate who could be moved to create cap flexibility. The Edmunds fit with what John Harbaugh wants to run defensively was discussed at length. Harbaugh comes from Baltimore, where he had elite linebacker play for years. He understands the value of having someone in the middle of the defense who can be the quarterback of that unit, making calls, adjusting alignments, and ensuring everyone is in the right position. Edmunds has shown that capability throughout his career, and the panel seemed to think he'd thrive under Harbaugh's leadership.